Why are you tired without doing anything? Let's talk about it next on the Giving a Purpose podcast. Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey, and filling in the gap. You already know what it is. New week, new episode. Man, I'm so glad to be back for another week. Listen, thank you guys for tuning in every week. I appreciate it. If you have not, if you are new, if you're just passing by, man, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, get the notifications, know when the new episodes are coming out, or just share this with somebody. Let somebody know that you're listening or you've heard some good things. Listen, I want to talk about just fatigue. And sometimes it's mental, right? When our brain is just overbooked. Like, this is really a conversation nobody's having right now. Everybody's talking about, even here, I'm talking about, we talk about hustling, we talk about discipline, we talk about grinding, we talk about consistency. But nobody's really also talking about how people are mentally running like that laptop with 47 tabs open at one time, right? People nowadays, we aren't just tired, we're emotionally buffering, we're spiritually overloaded, mentally multitasking, constantly unavailable, and internally it's just noisy, right? It's just a bunch of noise. And because of it, sometimes, and I'll speak for myself, I can't hear God clearly. I can't focus. I don't rest well. And sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I can't commit fully. This is really a problem, right? You ever notice how you can be sitting down doing absolutely nothing and actually feel exhausted? Like, we ain't run no miles, you ain't lift no weights, you didn't solve world hunger, but somehow your brain feels like it worked double, or it worked a double shift at like Amazon or something. And I just kind of want to talk about that today and just kind of help us walk through some of that, because I know it's happening for me, but it is a real problem. So listen, we are having these things where, like I said earlier, we have these tabs open where we have social media overload. And then that goes into comparison. We have fear. Sometimes we have pressure. We have fake urgency, right? We have unprocessed emotions, like all these tabs. And then for us creators, we got 19 TikToks we trying to do about becoming our best self. And still, we haven't done the necessary things. We haven't drank any water today. We haven't eaten. We haven't done things that we should be doing, right? And now our mind has just become overloaded with everything. And our mind has become like a group chat, right? You got anxiety texting you. You have comparison sending you reels, your past tagging you in memories, bills requesting access, and it's humorous, but it's painfully true. Like, it's something that we're all going through. People don't struggle with focus because they're weak. They struggle because they never disconnect. Is that happening to anybody? Like, we never disconnect. Sometimes it could be from work. Sometimes it could be from content creating. Sometimes it could be from helping people. It could be from just doing whatever. But we actually never disconnect. And then we get to a point where you can't really hear from God, or you can't connect. You can't hear your purpose in noise, right? And that's where faith comes in heavy too, right? We also have to know when we have to be focused and remember Psalms 46:10. We got to remember to be still, right? We got to know when to be still and know that he is God, but be still. We got to figure out how to be still. You can't hear direction when your soul got surrounded by confusion. Let me say that again. You can't hear direction when your soul got surrounded by the sound of confusion, right? And we've gotten to a point where silence is like a luxury because our mind is always going. Those tabs are always open. So silence is a luxury. Some people stay busy because slowing down forces them to face themselves, right? Sometimes we get caught in scrolling and calling it research. We overplan instead of starting, right? Watching motivational videos instead of applying the information, because that's the true knowledge. Knowledge isn't just power. Applied knowledge is power. Saying, I'm working on me, but we've been doing it for the last 4 to 8 years, and you still focusing on you, right? You ever open Instagram for one thing and somehow end up watching a man restore like rusty knives in the woods for like 17 minutes? Listen, we are so like cooked. We are done, right? Because our attention is our real currency, right? Not money, not followers, not even time, but our attention. We have to learn how to keep our attention and keep our focus. So we have to remember who we are, because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right? So when we're talking about working on ourselves, when we're talking about doing these things, what do you think of yourself? In your heart of heart, in your soul, in your inner being, what do you think of yourself? Because often those are the results or the things that you get out of life, because that's what you actually really think of yourself. If you think you're a sometimer, if you think that you never accomplish anything, if you think that you're a failure, if you think that nothing good ever happens to you, if that's how you feel in your heart, when those things show up in your life, you can't be surprised, because that's what you've been cooking up, right? If you consume confusion all day, you will eventually become emotionally confused. One thing that I've learned in my journey, and then trying to figure out everything, is God never asked us to carry everything. And once you learn that, this becomes an emotional release point, right? Some people are carrying everybody's expectations, family pressure, self-pressure, guilt from old mistakes, and future fears, right? And we try to disguise it and dress it up as ambition. No, that's really emotional hoarding, right? Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Remember that. Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you, right? We have to get to a point where we create a mental breathing room, right? So here's 3 things that we're going to do. We're going to do a noise reset, because there's so much noise and so many things going on. All right, 30 minutes throughout the day. Find you 30 minutes throughout your day. No music, no podcast, no scrolling, and no texting. Just think. Just think. Sometimes for me, that could be driving to work because I'm in a lot of traffic. Oh man, just driving to work. Nothing. Just think. We have gotten to a point where we're losing the ability to hear ourselves. Right? Then, second thing we're going to do, we're going to do an attention audit. All right. What constantly gets your attention but gives nothing back? Is it people? Is it your job? Is it relationships? Is it social media? Is it family members? What is it? That's for you to figure out. Right? And the third thing we're going to do, the one thing rule. Stop trying to fix your entire life in 1 week. We got to stop trying to figure it out and try to do everything in 1 week. We have 52 weeks, 365 days, right? Pick one thing. All right? What are you going to do this week? Are you going to fix your sleep? Are you going to fix your prayer life? Are you going to fix your fitness? All right. Are you going to work on your discipline? Are you going to work on your consistency? Are you going to work on your finances? Pick one thing done consistently changes the identity of everything, right? I realized that I was mentally overloaded doing something that I love, something like this podcast. For 2 years straight, I was locked in, I was focused. But I was doing so many things at one time. I was coaching, had family life, trying to be everywhere for everybody. And I really couldn't hear. Like I had a process of how I would do my podcast. And it was getting to a point where I was just drained. And I think about some moments. It's very rare that I watch my podcast over again, but I used to look back because sometimes I wanted to clip up stuff and I would look at podcasts and I would see it in my eyes. I'm like, bro, you just look tired, right? You just look tired. You look drained. But I was just so in the moment of doing the podcast. Then I just got to a point. It's like one time I just felt like I needed a break. And the next thing you know, I stopped doing my podcast for like a year and a half. And the thing that bothered me the most was when I was trying to get back into it. I'm still constantly balancing things and trying to do all these things, but I couldn't hear like I used to hear for doing my podcast. Like there's something that I do. So I always pray before I do my podcast. I ask God to remove myself. I ask you to help me figure out what needs to be displayed, what needs to be said, and your people are listening. That is my prayer. Right? But I was getting to a point where I was getting back into it, and there was a reason why there were breaks in the podcast because I didn't hear anything like I heard anything before. But there was still so much noise. And that noise was costing me the connection to hear. So we just got to get rid of those noises, right? So listen, find time to clear your mind. Find time to pray. Find time to plan. And find time for yourself to just think. All right? Protect your mind like your future depends on it. Let me say that again. Protect your mind like your future depends on it. Because it does. Your purpose needs focus. Your calling needs clarity. Stop giving attention to everything and wondering why you have energy for nothing. All right? Now, I need you guys to do the most important thing I ask you to do every week. Is to make sure you live on purpose and make sure you live in purpose. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.